Exactly, it's part of the circumstances. And we are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am here with Khalifa from the podcast of the Rebellions of the Khalifas in Israel. We're both Druze from Israel, trying to bring you the latest news about what's happening in Syria, in Al-Suwayda, with the Druze and the Christian community that is going right now under a massacre by from what we understand, and it seems to be more and more evidence is surfacing from the government regime, from the Jawlani, al-Shara forces, all the way to all the Bedouin tribes, and in general, also the students around the country. We have today a special guest, a doctor from Al-Suwayda, a Druze lady by the name of Lujain, and we had few attempts to bring her live. The internet there is very hard. The government have cut the internet on them. They're trying to use Starlink devices that were brought to them, not enough apparently. The whole community there has been cut off. And meanwhile, the world is telling you lies about what's happening in Syria. Mainstream media is covering and hiding it. As you're seeing, we're still trying to bring her up. People are going around the world being interviewed, like Dave Smith, someone who's never been in the Middle East, probably never met a Druze, and he's sharing his opinions about Druze, or some weirdo guy with a beard, I don't know his name, who's full on, ISIS propaganda. And they're the ones who are getting the voice of what's happening with the Druze, while us, the Druze, are being ignored. They're not talking to us. They're not talking to the doctors and the people in Sueda. So we're doing our best to give you their voice. We hope that you can manage to join us for the call. Khalifa, send her a message, maybe even audio.
Yeah, I'm talking to her. So it's been an hour. We're trying to do that, and basically what she's saying. Now let's try and add her again. Okay, here she is
again.
Hey, Lujain, how are you doing? We're already live. We are trying.
Yeah. Hi.
We're trying to
I'm
tell
sorry.
people how
Don't be
bad the
sorry.
connection there in Syria and how difficult it is to have you in with us. Just a quick reminder for those who don't follow my Telegram channel. You made a fantastic video where we shared it on X and Instagram and all our platforms, trying to give an image of what's happening in Sueda. So we're gonna take advantage that you are with us now. Please tell us, as a doctor in Sueda, what's happening over there.
Well, on the 13th of July, there was nothing like important going on the ground. It was peaceful, safe, everyone doing their everyday life. And then suddenly we started hearing clashes everywhere, gun clashes. And then we started hearing bomb shells, rocket shells. And it was raining bombshells, like suddenly, like in no time, like less than 2 hours, it was raining bombshells on the city, like around our house and everywhere, on the civilians. We didn't know what's going on. We're trying to make some connections with people to understand what's going on. No one knows what's going on. It was extremely sudden, Then there was still internet connections, but the electricity had been cut a day before. So they've cut the electricity, started the attack, and then 2 days later they cut all the internet connections in all ways possible. Wi-Fi.
When you say they cut, you were talking about the government. I mean, they're the only one who can cut.
Yes. The government, of course, it's the only one who can cut electricity and water and everything is the government, of course. The government was part of the crime, and this is what we've been saying since then. So, yeah, and then we started to watch videos on Facebook of slaughtering people. And then we understood that they've already attacked Sueda. And they've attacked Sueda from 3 different areas, 3 different directions, from the west. And this is the most important one. from the east a little bit, and from the highway from Damascus Sueda highway. So they were attacking Sueda, and they said in the beginning that it was the Bedouins. Well, the Bedouins have joined the general security long time ago. So it's the general security. And they started coming by military convoys. It wasn't only clashes, and it wasn't only like scattered and random attacks. It was planned. And they came
Lujain, if you can correct
Yes.
me, the Bedouins don't have tanks and artillery, right?
Of course, they don't.
So when we see videos of tanks and artillery driving inside of Al-Suwayda, a Druze village, it's quite safe to say the government. Now, you said something very interesting here that I think that people should understand. From what I'm understanding is, we, outside of Syria, knew about the slaughter before you, because they cut the internet on you.
Yes.
And so you only started seeing images of what we already been seeing for several days of the beheading and the killing and the kidnapping. And that's when you guys understood that the whole country have came to slaughter the Christians and the Druze and the mountain of Sueda.
100%. Yeah, we were hiding in our houses because of the bombshells. What I was doing is we were preparing for a political a political program, but in a like comedy, like slight comedy. So I was preparing for the program with my friends at their house. This is when we started hearing the voices everywhere, the bomb shelling. So what we did is I went back home, I brought my mom, and we hid in a room in their house because it was safer than our neighborhood. And there were some men in the house. I live with my mom alone. So we had to hide at their house, and we hid in a small room in the middle of the house, like in the very middle. And it was not more than 3 by 3 meters. So, and we hid there like for 4 days. It was horrible.
Wow.
We would
for 4 days hiding.
Yes, 4 days hiding and no electricity. And we were using our mobile flashlight. And then the mobiles cut off. Thankfully, they had a solar system generator. So we were using it to recharge our mobile phones, and we were using the mobile phones for the lighting and to try to know what's going on. And then the internet cut off. This is when we were cut off anything outside.
Well, the thing is, you said earlier before we went on air that you used to work in a hospital in Damascus. And for those who don't understand what's happening in Sueda since the fall of Bashar al-Assad regime, like at first people were happy, we got rid of the dictator, and things started to go sideways. So please tell us, how does it feel to be Druze in Syria right now before the events started?
You mean
how was it for you to work in Damascus?
You want me to compare like before the fall of Assad and now?
Yes.
I didn't feel Druze back then. I felt like an ordinary person, ordinary Syrian person, and I joined the revolution in 2011, but secretly, because I was studying in college. I was studying in medical school in Damascus, because of course the universities are in Damascus. So I joined the revolution, and I was part of the humanitarian aid campaigns. We were like protesting against the dictator, which is Bashar al-Assad, and we thought he was the only devil, and there's no other devil. So if we get rid of Bashar al-Assad, there would be no other dictators, and we would get our free state. But what happened afterwards is that I found out that I was Druze, and Druze supposed to be dead. They shouldn't even breathe. They're supposed to be dead, and we have to be killed. And this is based on the terms of Ibn Taymiyyah. And it turned out that all Syria is following Ibn Taymiyyah. Of course, it's not true. I mean, Ibn Taymiyyah is an extremist takfiri group of Islam. But the problem is everyone else, they either follow Ibn Taymiyyah or they can't stop them. So people in Damascus who are not followers of Ibn Taymiyyah and who hate those people who came from Idlib, actually, and they think they took over the country, which is HTS and Julani and his militias. They think they took over the country. And nonetheless, they couldn't stop them. What can they say? You're killing innocent people? And the problem is, I was part of the protest that took place in 2023, and I was one of the women leaders of the protest. I don't say I regret it. No, because he was a dictator. Bashar al-Assad was a dictator. But I'm confused. Like, there was no other devils, but there is like worse, much worse than Bashar al-Assad.
This is exactly what I mean, because what I'm trying to say is, at first, Jews were very happy that they got rid of the dictator, and they actually participated in, get rid of out of him. You mentioned 23 demonstrations against Bashar al-Assad, but the thing is that Julani is an ex-ISIS guy, and now we've seen his militiants with the ISIS patches on their uniforms. So is Syria now an ISIS state? Is that what's happening over there?
Yes, Syria is an ISIS state. I've been working since the fall of Assad. I've been working with foreign journalists who come to Syria to cover everything, to cover the prisons, to cover the situation of people. And I went to Idlib with a delegation. And what I saw was shocking. In every square in Idlib, there is they raise the flag, a white flag written on it, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. And then I found out that this is the official flag of Afghanistan. And all the women in Idlib wear niqab. This hasn't been the case before the fall of Assad, or actually before, like you can say, before 2015. This wasn't the case. We didn't have niqab like ever in Syria. Now,
those of you back home who don't understand what's a niqab, it's basically the head cover that the Muslims forced on the women to have.
No, the head cover, the hijab or the scarf, but the niqab is a mask that women wear.
It's a burqa.
It's the burqa. Yes. Yeah, the burqa. But it's black, black burqa. So you would rarely see a woman wearing a burqa before. Now it's full, and Idlib, all of Idlib, like 99% of the women are wearing burqa. And I was threatened multiple times in Idlib, and one guy came, he wanted to beat me, saying that I was the only woman, of course, unscarred. And I didn't know this was the case. I didn't know it was that dangerous. And there was a man in the street, he came all over the way to beat me because I wasn't wearing a scarf. And thankfully, the delegation was Japanese, so they were like absolutely foreigners, and they looked like that. So they said, "Oh, there is foreigners with her, so let's not harm her. Let's not do her any harm because they're foreigners." Wow. If it weren't the case, they would have killed me maybe, or beat me in the street because I wasn't scarred.
Wow.
And I was trying to tell people, yeah, this was at the end of January and the beginning of February this year. So when I came back to Sueda, I was trying to tell people, like, be careful. These people are not peaceful. these people are very dangerous, and no one was listening. Like a lot of people were saying, let's give them time, let's give them a chance. They're peaceful. They're trying to build a state. These people can't build a state, and this was obvious after the first attack on Sahnaya and Jaramana, or actually after the attacks on the coastal line, which took place like four months ago.
On the Alawites, yeah.
Yeah, on the Alawites. These people are coming to get revenge of any creature that is not Muslim.
Dr. Lujain, I want to ask you a question, because we want to catch every moment that we have with you right now.
Yeah.
Mainstream media is not covering this. World leaders are suppressing this.
Yes.
And most people are not even hearing about what's happening to the Druze in Al-Suwayda. Why do you think that the mainstream media, that the Western leaders are all on this with the ISIS regime that took over Syria? Because we're hearing clearly that it's becoming like Taliban. It's not safe for women. It's not safe for Christians. It's not safe for Druze. It's not safe for minorities. Men are not even allowed to wear shorts. Girls are not allowed to go to school. It's literally becoming Afghanistan in front of our eyes, and we're seeing ethnic cleansing, undoubtedly by the government. But why do you think that mainstream media and Western leaders are suppressing that? I just want to really hear what people in Syria are thinking.
Well, people in Syria think that the regime has not fallen yet, and this is just it's extending the regime in another copy, which is the Julani copy. So it's still Bashar al-Assad's regime. It hasn't fallen yet, and they've already recirculated, or they brought like some symbols of the corruption in the former regime, and they brought them back to the picture. And they made them.
Why do you think that the West is not giving proper coverage for this?
I really don't know. I mean, they have. I don't know. It's very hard. It's a very hard question. Even though like Christians are being killed too, and their churches have been burned and exploded. I don't know. Maybe Europe should be involved more in this, in covering this situation.
They definitely should. But it looks like they're doing the exact opposite. They're trying to make it look like, I mean, you guys don't have enough internet and you might not see what we're seeing, but they're trying to make it look like it's clashes between different factions, and sometimes even make it look like Druze and the Christians are the ones that are misbehaving, and the government is trying to protect itself. That's what they're making it look like in mainstream media.
Yeah, well, there is one reason is because the government's information, Ministry of Information, and the government's media is much stronger than our media. We're so weak. We're so weak on the ground. We're so weak on social media. They cut off the internet whenever they want. So we can't raise our voices even if you want to. So this is one reason. And they put a lot of agents, like intelligent agents, in the media domain, and they're controlling and taking over everything that's related to the media, like the official media in Syria, everything, even the local media. For example, some local outlets in Sueda have been bought, and I mean bought, by the HTS government. So they no longer show the truth. They just show the narrative of the government. So they're using money.
And they are backed with all the Sunni Arab world. They have Al Jazeera and everybody, all of them. Like, you see the press coming with the forces, doing the violations with the forces themselves. We've seen it happening. And this on one hand. On the other hand, we have Lujain. Tell us a bit what it took for you to do this broadcast. You're not talking from home, aren't you?
No, I'm talking from my friend's house, which is about 3 kilometers away from my house, which is very close. I don't have internet in my house. The data internet, which is the ones on the mobile, they're not working. The internet had been, I've told you before, like they cut the internet like two days or 3 days after the beginning of the attack. And then the internet came back about 5 days ago, and it cut again yesterday at 1 o'clock in the morning. And it came back today at 4:45. So what was happening is that I didn't know that I was going to do this broadcast anyways, because I thought the internet is cut out. And then the internet came back, so I wasn't even, and there's no connections, no even call connections. You know, I couldn't call anyone. So what happened is that I called my friends urgently, and they said the internet is not working. And then I called another friends. They said the internet is not working. And then fortunately, these people, they had internet. They have Starlink internet. So, and it's working. And you saw yourself, it cut out twice, and thankfully now it's working.
Well, you know what? I have a call for action for everyone who's watching this video right now. By the way, thank you for coming, guys. You saw for yourself right now how difficult it is for the people in Syria, the innocent people who are being slaughtered by the government, to bring out their voice. The Syrian regime is controlling the media. Western leaders are buying it. Mainstream media is buying it. And we're not hearing anything from the people like Dr. Lujain here and anyone in Sueda. Please help this voice reach out. Help us. I'm being very serious. This seems to be the only chances that we have, maybe the only platforms that we have where we're bringing real voices, but they're not reaching anyone because they can't even freaking get an internet. She had to walk 3 kilometers to a friend's house, and it's not a safe environment to walk there. They're under siege.
No.
They barely have food. They barely have water, and she can talk about it later on. She doesn't have internet. Once she get out of the house, if something happened to her, maybe several days later, they will even know about it. So just to
Exactly.
go and reach and talk to you right now involves a great dire risk for their own life. And then we're not getting these voices going out. We're not seeing any of the big, podcasts in the world and on the channels and the news talking about it. They keep inviting all kind of weirdos from the West that are clearly Muslim Brotherhood agents, clearly radical Islam agents, to come and speak on behalf of the Christians and Druze rather than listen to the Christians and Druze in Syria. There's a real attempt to oppress the voices. So please, if you're watching this right now, help us share this voice. Help us share what she is saying right now, Dr. Lujain, so the world can hear. Now, I want to bring it back to you. How dangerous it is, the situation right now on the ground, and how, we hear about starvation. We hear about there's no food coming. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
We've been cut out of all nutritions and food. Of course, just a second.
No problem. Okay. Tell the
My
family
friend's child.
Tell them we're thankful that they gave you some Starlink to come and talk to us.
I'm gonna tell her later. Okay, we've been under siege since the 13th of July. All the roads were cut out. Of course, we have only one highway, which is Damascus Sueda highway. We have another, it's not a highway, but it's like, a backup way from Daraa. And of course, Daraa is a Sunni environment, so it's not safe either. And both the roads were cut. So what happened is we've been cut out of everything that's necessary for life: electricity, internet, water, flour, nutrition, medicines, medical equipment, what else? Everything, fuel, like everything, literally everything. So now Do you want me to describe now the
Please,
the
yeah. How are
nowadays
people feeding
situation?
their families? How are people drinking water and feeding their families? And what's going to happen?
Okay. Now it's a bit calmer than before. The situation, like there's no bomb shelling anymore, and no military convoys coming, but people are still extremely scared because the threats are all over the internet and all over the military bases. So everyone is threatening that we're gonna come back. So everyone is on standby now to fight again. We don't know if we can make it this time, but we're gonna fight anyways. The food, we're about to be out of flour. Of course, there were in the stores some flour, so people started distributing the flour and baking bread. Well, now we still have a bit of bread, but we're about to be cut out. 2 days ago, the Red Crescent came in, brought 2 convoys. Of course, the convoys are like they can't serve more than 30,000 people, and there's 600,000 people in Sueda, so you can say it's nothing.
So you're talking
Yeah.
about eating bread. Like, I guess meat is out of the question, right? Or milk or other products.
Yes, milk, eggs. We don't have any, but there's the chicken farms, so that the chicken don't die. They started also distributing the chicken. Now there's no chicken. We're out of chicken. We're out of meat. Yes, we're out of everything. Yes, almost.
Wow.
So
Wow.
We still have
Chips.
Yeah.
I love her spirit. I mean, she is in such a dire situation. Such a lovely human and doctor that is in a place where most humans would probably never find themselves, with armies of jihadists coming to slaughter them all. They're cut out of food, cut out of water. They're only eating bread. And she's still here, kind of with lifting up her spirit. You're amazing. You're really amazing. You're a true hero.
Thank you.
Just wanted to say that. Really, you have no idea how many of us are praying for you guys and working behind the scenes. Just hope that we can help. And
Thank you.
I will stop.
We know.
Yeah, we
I mean,
admire you.
Believe me, we know.
I wanted to text you now while we speak on WhatsApp that you are a hero. You are a hero in my mind, but I was afraid that it's gonna cut your internet, so I didn't do it, and I'm doing it live. But for us as Israelis, we speak about the starvation in Gaza while we see like all the countries surrounding Israel are fighting, racing who's going to deploy humanitarian aid to Gaza. And we see the planes, we see the trucks, we see everything. And nobody's talking about Sueda. And Sueda is a large place with a huge population, and it's blocked from Jordan, and it's blocked from Syria, and no humanitarian aid coming. And there have been a real attempt from the Syrian government to ethnically cleanse the Druze people. So please give us a glimpse of what cases did you deal with in terms of the massacre or the killing of the people, or in the terms of the medical situation now. What's happening in Sueda hospital? Did you treat people? What is with medicine over there? What is the situation over there?
Well, you can say Sueda is a disastrous area. So, for example, the hospital, it's a really real disaster. There's no equipment. There's no medicine. In the first 4 days, it was like a horror movie. There were hundreds of corpses everywhere brought to the hospital, and the bodies were accumulating like over each other. It was full of corpses, and a lot of people, we don't know their names or their background. They're Druze, but we don't know like from which, from the city or from a village. It was horrible. My friends got through a siege. The hospital was enclosed with the HTS or the general security members for about 2 days, but like the real hard hours were day one, since 11:30 in the morning till 11:30 in the evening. Those were the most problematic and the most sensitive hours, because they were thinking about, of course, there was a tank. They brought a tank into the hospital, and they were thinking about, they brought all the medical crew in the first floor, in the first, you know,
Yeah, the first
you understand me?
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought them, and they were thinking about killing them all. Doctors, nurses, like everyone. And before they did that, like minutes before, they called some sheikh or someone and they said, should we kill them all? So I don't know what happened. Like they did something religious and they said, okay, we're going to let them. We're not going to kill them. They were more than 20 or 25 people.
Wow.
They were threatening everyone. They were threatening the patients. The patients and the doctors had to accumulate. They had to stay in the corridors of the hospitals because it was raining bombshells, and the hospital was full of general security. They were crushing the mobiles of the doctors so that no one can take any pictures or videos. They were crushing the mobiles of the nurses and of the patients, threatening everyone. And what they did, the horrible thing they did. So in the beginning of the attack, they started calling out for aid, for medical aid, for any doctor, any nurse, anyone who has a medical experience. So a lot of doctors came to help. They assassinated 4 doctors, and one of them is a dermatologist. So she was coming just to help. She doesn't know anything about surgery or something. She just came to help. She was my friend. They assassinated her. They assassinated a surgeon. They assassinated even students, medical school students who were there to help. It's a disaster, and I still don't know the whole story. This is just a little part of the story.
How are you dealing with this? You mentioned that your friends were killed. You
Yes.
probably know people that died. How are you dealing with this? How are you?
There is a word, but I can't remember what it's in English. Rafahi, shu rafahi?
Luxury. It's
Luxury. There is a saying, we don't have the luxury of getting sad or being sad. We don't have this luxury. I mean, we have to keep on working. We have to cover. We have to do documentaries. We have to raise our voice. We don't have time to cry. But nonetheless, there was one of my friends. He was very close, and he was a poet and a musician, and he draws paintings. He was a painter. He was an extremely sensitive man. And also his wife was the psychologist in my school. So I had a close connection with her. They came to their house, broke through. They shot him. They slaughtered his wife. And they cut her arm from the wrist so that they can take the 2 golden bracelets she was wearing. So when I heard about this, I broke into tears like for 2 or 3 hours, and then I got back to work. I mean, we don't have time. But I have a lot of friends. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of cousins, a lot of relatives.
Do you mind sharing us the name of this poet, just so we can
Yeah.
give him the honor?
Adnan Mhanna.
May Adnan Mhanna and his wife rest in peace. What was his wife's name?
Najwa Shomari.
God bless their soul.
Thank you.
Well,
Hard. Unbelievable. Yeah. I'm sorry that we might bring in these things up, but I just feel that it's just so important that the world knows. Because I see how courageous you are.
I'm glad that there is someone who would know about these things by me. And I hope I might stay safe after what I'm saying now. But you guys have to know what's going on. People have to know what's going on.
Here's the question I want to ask you. We've been hearing that Israel is providing some aerial support and some perhaps some medical drops. Did you see anything of that? Have you seen airplanes around the sky? Have you seen, some of these crates falling? What do you know about this?
Yes, I know that Israel have been helping since day 3, I recall. Day 3, yes. First of all, by planes. I heard planes. I never saw planes, but I heard planes and I knew it was Israeli planes. And I saw drones also. I saw one drone, and the drones kept flying in the sky. So we were hearing them like 24/7. I heard there was
How did that make you feel once you saw Israeli airplanes or drones? Like how people treat what Israel has been doing?
In Sueda, we felt safe. Let me tell you something. There was a convoy. Of course, maybe a lot of people now who are watching this podcast would say that, oh, well, these traders, blah blah blah. Okay, I'm gonna say this accident, which is I lived it here in Sueda. There was a military convoy coming from Damascus, from the Damascus-Sueda highway. There was more than 90 tanks. It was more than 35 kilometers long. It was full of rocket launchers and bombs and all types of heavy weapons. It was heading to Sueda. It was heading to Sueda to kill Druze people. And Israel stopped them. So how would we feel? This is something that happened. Wow. And me, myself, I was working on a report for the BBC, and I got to conduct interviews with 2 of the captives by the Druze men. And of course, here I have to say that a lot of people say, Al-Hajari militias, Al-Hajari. Do you think that 600 people in Sueda are Hajari militias? I mean, there is more than 1,300 people killed, slaughtered in their houses or in their cars, fleeing the whole battle. Women, children, babies. These are Hajari militias? And Al-Hajari is just a religious man. He doesn't have any militias or any guns. Anyways, I forgot what I was saying.
Powerful point. That's a part. No, you were talking about the Israelis stopping the convoys with 90 tanks and rocket launchers.
Yeah. I was talking about the interviews that I conducted with the captives. Now, one of the captives was from Idlib. He was 18 years old, and he said, "I came to Sueda to kill the kuffar." The other one, he was from Russia, from Dagestan, but he speaks Chechen. So we had to bring a doctor who studied in Russia so that he can translate what he was saying. He said that, yes, I came to kill the Druze, the kuffar, and I came to steal. We said, okay, the young child, the young guy who came from Idlib. I said, who gave you the orders? He said, the Ministry of Defense. What orders did you get? Well, we got the orders to kill the Druze, the kuffar. We got the orders to go for jihad.
You heard that and you heard that.
Yeah, of course. Like they gave strict orders to people to recruit people to go to fight Druze from the Ministry of Defense. And the other Chechen guy, I asked him, like, you're not Syrian. How could you fight with the Ministry of Defense? He said, yeah, they let anyone come. I don't have to be Syrian.
Wow. So he said he came to kill the kuffar, the Druze, and steal. Did he say what did he come to steal?
He knows 3 words, 3 Arabic words. He knows Masari.
Money.
Yeah, Masari, but Masari in Arabic. Masari, dhahab, gold.
Gold.
I think Slah. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But he knows like 3 words. 2 of them is like when they break into a house, they say Masari dhahab, like gold money. He just learned them just to steal.
And you mentioned earlier that you somehow preparing for the next fight, meaning like you're in a state that it's either die or fight. There's no other option. And for you as a woman and a doctor, we heard a lot about sexual assaults. Can you tell us a bit what is the stories behind the rumors that we hear about?
It's not rumors. 9 women from one family were raped, slaughtered, and their bodies were left on the street naked.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's not only these 9 women. There are a lot of women. And now we have captives, women captives, and we don't know what they're doing to them. Because they have something called sabaya. And sabaya means that they can go arrest any woman or take any woman hostage if she's not Muslim and take her as a hostage and be a sex toy. And now we have more than 200 women captives at their hands and we don't know what's going on with them. They've taken them as sabaya.
Yeah, they're important to explain to the people because you might have heard the word. There's sabiya and there's sabaya. It's different words.
Yes.
Sabaya is the terms that we have from the Quran, basically, from the early Islam, that was used for what do they do with after they kill the men of the enemy, what do they do with their women? And that was the term for a slave. So they take them as a slave and then they became, correct me if I'm wrong, jaware, sah? That's basically when they become the sex slave already. Now these people, what they do is usually they will make the woman as a sex slave and the little boys, and I might be saying some things that might be very hard for people to hear, but they basically check your genitals, and if you have hairs there, then you're a man, they kill you. If not, then they take you as a slave. That little boy now becomes a slave. That is something that was practiced a lot in the Ottoman Empire. They would kill the Christians, take their boys, make them slaves, indoctrinate them, beat them up, torture them, make them to radical, raising, murderous soldiers. And then later on, send these Christian boys to go and kill other Christians because it was easy. That's not their children. So the men they will make as slaves and the women they will make as sex slaves. What we're seeing in Syria is, I often say that the Mad Max of the jihadist world, of the Arab world, we're seeing just tribes of nomads These people don't have real jobs. They're not educated people. They don't invest in the stock market. They're not doctors, dentists, or Uber drivers. They are tribal rapists and warriors that just move from place to place, and that's how they make their money. They kill the family, they rape the women, and then they go and take the gold, the money, and the weapons, and they move on. They take with them little boys as slaves and little girls as sex slaves. The older ones, usually, they will just murder and leave them naked on the streets. And that's how they live. And they look for these opportunities all around the Middle East to go and do, basically seeing themselves as working in the same way that the warriors around the Prophet Muhammad were doing, which were warlords going around killing, raiding, and just taking slaves and taking their money. And for them, when Syria have allowed the blood of the Druze in the mountain, Syria have basically opened the door. Any good Muslim around the world, you are welcome to come to Syria and help us slaughter all the Druze. And if you go there, you can come back with a reward. Because why would someone drive 700 kilometers, 1,000 kilometers? They're not flying with airplanes, these people. They're driving on motorcycles and Toyotas. They will go through a whole convoy just to come because they have a chance to thirst, to fill their bloodthirst of killing, and to go and take women and children as slaves and to steal all their money, and also come back with some war stories and loot. We've seen videos of them stealing tractors, ducks, chickens, farm animals, going back. That is what Syria have become. Don't let anyone fool you. Just like the doctor, he said, it became the next Afghanistan. We're seeing women now completely covering their face. They're not safe for anyone in Syria. And government needs to understand that, because the government is trying to fool you. If you're sitting in Europe right now, sitting in America, and you're wondering where is your money going to, it's going for that. And, unfortunately, we just lost the connection with her. I hope she can come back. But this brave woman, this brave doctor, who is putting her life at risk just by walking 3 kilometers to find a place with internet so she can come and speak to us. They've been cut out of internet, cut out of food, cut out of water, and no one is hearing their voice. Me and Khalifa here are doing our best to come and bring it so you can hear the voice. So please help them share this. Help this voice go out there, because CNN is not going to talk about it. BBC is not going to cover it properly. And I tell you what, your world leaders, including in America, are somehow hush-hush trying to give you a different picture. And that is something that is very big. Why are they doing that? And I really hope that there will be accountability. Why are you trying to cover for an ISIS Al-Qaeda regime who is ethnically cleansing Christians and Druze and other minorities in the Middle East? They're starving, they don't have food, but meanwhile, all eyes are on Gaza, which have hundreds of thousands of food trucks going in there. They're just stealing their own food and not giving their own people. But no one is talking. We've seen this fake image, this fake picture that showed CNN, holding a boy that have, some kind of a disease. That's why he looked like that, and saying it's just the Holocaust is going on there. And then you see a lot of image of obese mothers in Gaza, literally obese mothers standing, oh, we're starving, our children. Wait, why is your children have no food and you have plenty of food? So this is not being covered. This is getting a lot of cover and false cover. What's happening in Syria is not being covered. And they're being oppressed, and they're not letting them. And I see her coming here.
Yeah.
Hi.
I just wanted to add, first of all, the comparison between what happened on October 7th to what's happening with the Druze in Sueda is mind-blowing. And compared, to the relative population of the Druze community, it's like 20 or 30 times more devastating to the Druze community, being smaller than the Israelis. And I wanted to add one more layer for what you said, Mansour, that for these people, remember that Islam, the religion of the person is based on his father. So those Sabaya been taken, their sons is going to be Muslims. For the Druze community, for those who don't know, you can't convert to Druze. So they're actually trying to depopulate the community of the Druze. That's very important, because on my channel, I actually put a picture of this Muslim with a niqab journalist saying, hey guys, remember in 9 months minus 2 days, we should go to Sueda and collect our babies because they are precious to us. This is how sick these people are. And they do it. Again, I wanted to ask you, Lujain, this is the real name. What about drugs and Captagon? Because those people claim to be religious people, and we saw some testimonies that they were high on Captagon while doing that, which
of course. Actually, there is something ridiculous. Some of them would break into a alcohol shop, drink beer or alcohol, any type of alcohol, and sleep on the streets. And then when they wake up, I mean, we saw that, we saw that with our bare eyes on the cameras, on the observatory cameras. They would sleep on the streets, and then they wake up, they go and burn the shop because they're Muslims. And for Captagon, the whole army was taking Captagon. How would they come and fight? How would they do these horrible things? How can you hold a head and cut it with a knife? It's horrible. It's non-human. How can they do that if they've not lost their minds?
Yeah, we've seen Hamas do the same thing. Poor men, cocaine. They often, these jihadists, they use drugs to numb their feelings and their emotions because they're called to go and do extreme things. I want to share here a picture. Oh, how did I do that? What did I do? Let me put it back in. So most people don't know about the indigenous minorities of the Middle East, many of whom are nearly erased through centuries of Islamic conquest and persecution. Let's call it for what it is, guys. That's what it is. We have, the Copts, the Jews, the Samaritans, the Persians, the Druze, the Yazidis, the Armenians, the Sarikas, the Baluch, the Assyrians, the Moronites, the Armenians, and there's more here. All
Not
these,
Baluch,
by
it's
the way, Baluchi. There is minorities in the Middle East who are being erased as we're speaking. And right now, the main focus is on erasing the Druze. For those of you who don't know, there's 1 million Druze around the world, give or take, just a little bit over that. And most of them are in Syria. Syria alone have more Druze than all the world together. So just to give you an example, Syria have more than half of the Druze worldwide in Syria, and they are being right now ethnically cleansed in every possible way. Kill their men, rape their women, steal their children, convert their children. And Islam, radical Islam, especially the Salafi one, doesn't leave a place to leave Islam. So once you're a Muslim, if you try to leave, then you should be killed as well. So if you can tell me of a more totalitarian, oppressive religion than that is going right now and trying to erase every minority that I mentioned right now that exists in the Middle East. So if people care about minorities, where is your cry? If people care about the innocent people that are just trying to live their life and preserve their way of life, where is your cry? We've seen what ISIS did when they were running around, the Middle East. They kill all the minorities, and then they go and destroy all their temples and shrines. And I remember that was hurting my eyes when I saw this big statue of Buddha and others, that managed to survive for thousands of years, telling us the culture and everything, and they just go and blow it up and shout Allahu Akbar and erase it. Churches, synagogues. Syria, on top of the beautiful people that are living in Syria, Syria is one of the richest countries in terms of history. Syria have, I would say, almost equivalent to Rome and Jerusalem-like cities in Syria that have so much ancient history, not only from the Muslims, but from the Christians and from the Romans and from the Greeks and before. And all of this is being erased alongside with the minorities that can come and tell you the story of this beautiful. So there is a real attempt of a totalitarian, genocidal maniacs who are coming to take over the world, and they're starting right now in the Middle East, and they want to erase every piece of history and every beautiful human being that is not like them on the face of this earth. That needs to be spoken. That is the real genocide that is happening, guys. And why are we ignoring it? Why is mainstream media not covering it? I know I've said that a million times, and I'm going to keep saying that. Why? we are in the West. They literally want to erase us. Why are we covering for them? It just blows my mind. Sorry.
There's an accident. There was a journalist, a foreign journalist who came with the military convoy. I don't know how he made it, but he came in and he made it to tell the story. So what happened is he saw a cat in a village. Of course, there's still more than 30 villages burned and under their control, under the HTS control, and especially in the western side of Sueda. This is just to make it clear that we're expecting another attack. So what the journalist said is that he saw a cat and he was trying to feed the cat. So a general security man came and shot the cat. So the journalist said, "Why did you kill her? Why did you kill the cat?" He said, "The cat ate the Druze food, and it's haram." Yeah, really.
The level of racism just will blow
your mind. A friend of mine, he's a painter too. His name is Rabi' al-Baini. May his soul rest in peace. He had a dog. A black dog. She was very beautiful. Her name was Whitey. She's black, but her name is Whitey. They shot him and the cat and the dog. Like, what do you want with the dog? Why did you kill the dog? It was the most peaceful dog ever. Killing everything, burning trees. Why are you burning trees? Like
they have nothing sacred. I'm gonna tell you why, because they are pure evil. They are pure evil, and everybody is walking along with them. All the Western, double-faced humanitarian or human rights organizations that bash Israel day and night are all silent about what's happening, and they ignore the facts. Absolutely. This is why me and Mansour are doing days and night to try to give the story of what's happening over there. For me, in those 2 weeks, I've seen so many people of my people being slaughtered, being killed for random, just mayhem and spreading terror and fear and trying to just, I don't know, just to kill in the name of the killing. It's heartbreaking, and I feel myself like they've been killing me, they've been raping me over and over again, with coping with these people by silencing what's happening, and nobody's talking about it. Like, I mean, if like a pinch of that would happen in Israel, everybody will say, hey, what's happening here in Israel? But no Jews, no news. And while it's Druze, then I guess the world says, yeah, you can kill Druze, everything is okay. And no, but we here to say Druze life matters. It matters for us. It matters for us, the Druze in Israel. And we are proud that Israel, the only country that stopped this massacre or made it easier for what it could be, because of those animals went wild, free wild animals into Sueda. They wouldn't stop. Nothing could stop them.
They're not animals. They're beasts. They're monsters. They're not even animals. They're monsters. And there is something very important. I wish people would know, like in the West, Druze we're not Muslims in the name of Muslims. We were like, some people say that we're like a group of Islam. Well, actually, if you go through the Druze faith, it's not Islamic. The most important thing is the Druze faith depends on philosophy, on rationalizing everything, on bringing everything to mind and doubting everything until you reach the truth. And the most important thing is that we're so peaceful, and we, like, you know, the Druze people love music, love paintings, love to sing. They write poetry. We write philosophy. Like, they're the most educated people in Syria and maybe in the Middle East. I mean, comparing to the small number of Druze, we love studying. A lot of scientists are Druze. So we love life. We're people of life. So do not lose us. It's gonna be black if you're gonna allow these monsters to erase us from the world. Do not lose Druze.
The world is going to be a much darker place
Of
if they
course.
let these radicals exterminate the Jews and the Druze. It's two groups of people, small, very minor, that are bringing great light to this world, peaceful. They don't want to harm anyone. They don't want to convert anyone. I can tell you, knowing many Druze that reached to Europe and, you know, escaped from Syria, by the way, every Druze story that I've heard that managed to escape to Europe have settled in, have found a real job. I'm here in the hotel with some of them, by the way, doctors, nurses, school teachers from Syria, from Al-Suwayda and from Jaramana, here with me in the hotel from Syria. They escaped. They work as school teachers. They work as doctors. They've learned new professions. I have some of my relatives that managed to flee. They've learned to be accountant, both of them, the husband and the wife, and they're working. They assimilate with the culture. They pay the taxes. They're the perfect, you know, want to call them migrants to come to your country. They don't bring terrorism. They don't hurt anyone. They respect your culture. They adapt your culture. It's exactly how you want migration to look like. It's the beautiful, beautiful small religion that is under the threat of extinction right now. And the world is just ignoring it. That's insane. I want to share with you something, you know, Khalifa and Lujain, that I have experienced 2 days ago here in Europe. I'm in Zurich. And I went to show my kid 2 museums. I feel like I've been kind of neglecting my kid lately because of all the work that I'm doing, and I want him to get some of the culture, the European culture, by the way. Took him to a science museum and an art museum. On the way back, we were trying to catch an Uber, and as I was waiting for the Uber to go back to the hotel, I saw 2 Arab men standing there, smoking cigarettes, and one of them said the word Druze, with a curse word followed, you know, Ibn Shara, and, you know, start cursing the Druze. I came close to listen carefully. And I heard the other guy telling him, I wish El-Shara would exterminate and murder and slaughter all the Jews in Syria. He shouldn't leave any of them alive. And then the other friend came and said, if I will see a Druze here in Syria, I will put him in the trunk of my car and I'll make him disappear. And then they went on about how they want to kill them. Now, these are the people that fled from Syria, apparently. But the same, like the jihadists that you're seeing right now killing in Syria, there are also many of them are here in Europe, by the way. And Europe is becoming not safe, not only for Jews anymore, but also for Druze. And in my case, for an Israeli Druze, that's even a double. And then our driver comes in, Khalifa, and that's the crazy part. We go inside the taxi, and I just want to get out of there. My kid, he uses a lot of Hebrew words. He called me Abba. He says shalom to everyone that he says. He says khalas, you know, he mixes like Hebrew and Arabic and German and English. And as I went in the car, I suddenly hear the driver starting to wave and talk Arabic to his 2 friends that just said they want to murder the Druze, and I realized he's one of them. Now, I don't want my kid to start throwing words in Arabic and then he starts asking us questions and hear that we're Druze, because my kid will tell him, I'm a Druze, I'm a Druze. And I don't want him to say shalom in the car now or call me Abba, because that's how he called me. That's Hebrew. So I told him immediately, Raphael, let's play a game. Let's do a competition. Who can stay silent more until we reach the hotel? Me or you? If you win, I'll get you ice cream. Now, he barely gets ice cream because I'm against, in general, giving sugar to kids unless in rare occasions. So he stayed silent for 25 minutes to win his ice cream. And I felt so bad that I need to hide, make my kid not speak. So these radicals won't know which hotel I'm staying in. Who am I, that I'm a Druze, because they want to hurt me now. But that's the reality that is happening around the world. And I think that's quite crazy that Europe is allowing this to happen. To the peaceful minorities, you finally have peaceful minorities that came to your country and are willing to carry the load and share the burden because you're not bringing enough children, so we'll come and help you work here and help you with your economy. Great, great for you, great for us. So you finally have the peaceful ones that came to do that, and you are silencing them, and you're allowing the radical ones that want to scare them and kill them to go freely in the streets. I've saw graffitis in Zurich, in every second wall. Gaza, Palestine, free Palestine, like and red graffitis over art, by the way, like a beautiful art wall. They just someone goes and graffiti it,
ruining them. Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, Mansour, this isn't only like your story. It's the story of hundreds of thousands of Druze. This has been my story for like all my life. I've been hiding my Druze identity. Until lately, I said, like in the protests, I said, I'm a Druze and I'm against this dictatorship, and I'm a Druze and you have to respect me and respect my flag. And if we don't reach to a time that we can say freely that we are Druze, it will be a problem in this world. We have to state it and say it out loud. We're Druze and we have the right to live and to do our to live our own religion and our own faith and our own life the way we want, not the way others want to impose over us.
I'm very surprised that the Christians in Syria don't speak out, because like I would know why, because the Druze are relatively live in like separate areas, but Christians are all over and they can't really outspeak what they can. And this is why maybe the connection to Europe is so bad. People like Europe now is a silent partner with ISIS, which is a crazy idea, but this is what's happening. But I guess I wanted to ask you, Lujain. Everybody is asking me every time we speak about these things, how can we help? People that are listening now in Israel, people are listening now in Europe, our followers, how can they help?
There is nobody living with only one vein. We want veins to be open. We want corridors. We want crossings between us and Israel, between us and between Syria, like the Druze, like between the mountain, the Sueda and Jordan. Open the crossings. Stop choking Druze. If we've had another corridor to Jordan or to Israel or to any other country around us, we wouldn't have been choked now and maybe choked to death. No one is helping. If you want to help, just open the crosses. This is the first thing to do.
Why is Jordan not opening the border? That will save the Druze. That will save so many lives. Why are they not opening it?
They say, like the Jordanian government, they say that it has to be like such things have to be like their economical agreements, and they have to be signed from both sides. And the government in Syria is not signing this agreement. This is the Jordanian narrative. I don't know if this is true or not.
This is the bullshit narrative. Sorry for my French, but what's happening in Jordan is disgusting, to be honest, because 15 years, because this siege is not new. They've been living under this siege from the beginning of the events, from 2011, when the Druze said, hey guys, we are Syrians, we're not going to participate in this bloodbath because for 14 years, every sect in Syria were killing each other, and everybody were trying to involve the Druze into it. But the Druze, because they are so much peaceful, as like you said, Lujain, that they are a community that loves life and they're not pro-death, and they managed not to involve in that. So what's happening in Jordan is that the king can't really participate or open the corridor because the tribes, the Bedouin tribes, is gonna do a lot of harm to him, because as we've seen, Bedouins from Jordan also wanted to participate in this bloodbath. So he has a country that 60% of it is Palestinians, which is a pro-death society, and the others are Bedouins. And then he's in a pickle, political pickle. This is why Israel and the United States need to push harder to make him open the border. And it's a humanitarian issue. It's not political issue. Those people are civilians. A lot of them are defending their houses, they're defending their lands, and they have no reach to the outside of the world. We basically, the Israelis, this podcast, this is small platform, is one of like the fewest windows to the outer world, because if we didn't have this connection, this bond between the Israeli Druze and the Syrian Druze, nobody will hear about it, and then the Druze will die silently. This is what's happening with Jordan, and this is what pisses me off, because it's disgusting.
Yes.
No, you're muted.
I think we're coming close to an end. We don't want to make this too long, but Lujain, I will first of all, me and Khalifa would love to have you come and speak with us again. I think your story and the thing that you're sharing is heartbreaking, fascinating, and so important for the world to hear. I want to read a little bit of some of the starred comments, and maybe we can answer some of the questions that have been asked, and then later on we can just summarize the episode. But someone is mentioning that he's being censored. Hey man, I'm being censored on my own platform. Half of the comments that I write here get censored, so I need to cut them to chunks and make them small pieces so you guys can hear it. It's frustrating. I don't know why it's happening. Someone asked your guest, how much has Israel helped you? I think she answered that already. And she mentioned about the airstrikes and etc. Unless you have something else to add here, Lujain, about this, we can move on.
Well, as far as I know, this is what they did. I heard something about a helicopter, but I didn't see it, and I really don't have information about it. So I want to be precise. I don't know. Like they say that there was a helicopter that came and it was full of food, I think, food stuff, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I've heard about the helicopter that landed with food and medical supplies. I've seen with my own eyes some of the videos of Israeli Apache helicopters taking down an entire area full of jihadists that were still coming, trying to advance in the village and massacre the people, the innocent people in the mountains. So even though America has been pushing away back, and many Arab countries are trying to push Israel from getting involved because they don't want al-Shara to look bad because he's not taking care of his own people. So how come Israel need to come and save your own citizens from your own hands? You are Syria, you are the government. We need to come and save your own citizens from you. But Israel, I'm very proud of it. By the way, yeah,
I have a special request from Sueda people, from all people in Sueda. They've been, like, Europe and the United States have been throwing out sanctions, economical sanctions over Syria since 2015. Those sanctions have never helped anyone. They've only made it worse for the people. People in the government were not harmed. Nothing happened to them. It's only the people who are paying the price. So the sanctions do not help. What helps us is immediate international intervention. We want in Syria, we want the crosses to be open between us and the neighboring countries, and we want peacekeeping forces. We need peacekeeping forces to be brought to Sueda and to help us and to make a shield between us and these terrorists, like a real wall.
Yeah, you heard it right here from Dr. Lujain, who is a real Syrian citizen, a Druze in Syria who came and told you, if you want to help, that's how you help. World, wake up. So I've seen also some of the images of these Apache pilots I was saying who are going and destroying these jihadists, and I'm very proud that Israel chose to ignore world pressure and to stand behind its promise to the Druze people in Israel and to our Druze brothers and sisters in Syria. Just want to actually share something that I'm sure Lujain here will identify with. I just spoke yesterday in the morning, to a Druze medical student who studied 6 years to become a doctor in Syria, and then was left only one exam that she have to do in Syria, in Damascus. But she's a single daughter. Her parents would not even let her go there, and obviously she doesn't want to go there because some of her colleagues, Druze students, got kidnapped in the university there because the Muslims, the Sunnah, radical Salafis guys there in university have called it jihad and said that you need to go and kill the Druze and slaughter them and kidnap them, and even started sharing their room numbers and their social media profile and saying where they are so people can come. These Chechenian fighters and these Bedouins can come and kidnap them, and the Druze student had to flee. Now this girl, the reason I spoke to her, I'm not going to share her name for her safety, but I promise her that I'll do my best to help her. She's one case out of many. She's just missing one more little exam to finish. That's it. If she stops studying right now, and you've been in that world, if you now stop studying for 4 or 5 years, it's like throwing it to the garbage, correct?
Yes.
How are you going to start it all over again? So 6 years of her life. So if there's anyone watching this right now, and he have ties with universities in Europe, in America, anywhere, that is willing to help the Druze students, there's many, that's one case out of many, and help them come to their countries, they will learn your language. They will do anything they need just to finish the degree. People in Syria under the Assad regime and now are not rich. They've been oppressed. And families might have even spent their entire life saving money so they can send their child to get a future, to become a doctor, to become an engineer. And now it's all cut, literally, in the last moment, and these students are just hanging in the air. So if anyone knows, please reach out to me or to Khalifa, and we'll do our best to talk to you and filter and see what's actually actual help, and then we'll direct you to these students. That's just about that.
By the way, there is one thing, like, I have to say, shout out to the Kurds, our friends who have helped in all the ways possible. The Kurds in the north of Syria, on the eastern north.
Yeah.
We love the Kurds, and we're gonna interview some of them soon enough, because they represent a beautiful way of Islam. They are Muslims. They are, they treat women well. They are brave. They are beautiful culture, and you can be a Sunni Muslim with beautiful. This is the thing. Like, we are not racist against Muslims, but we are racist against these death cults. This is very important.
Yes. Question: is there a way to donate food and equipment to the Druze in Sueda? Well, I tell you what, Khalifa can add to that as well. Israel has been sending trucks full of aid. We've seen videos of Israeli Druze and IDF soldiers filling trucks and sending them. Most of them is reaching the Druze villages that are under the Israeli occupation right now in Syria, that are by the border.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah,
but
well,
it's not really reaching Sueda.
No.
They get kidnapped and killed on the way. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They have to go through the Bedouin lands, and it's still very hard. The best way is actually through Jordan. That would be the easiest way. Other than that is by airdrops. And that's very problematic. Just like the doctor here also mentioned, they need medical supplies. They need many, many other stuff. But I tell you how we can help. Someone asked, is there a way we can help? By putting pressure on international community, by sharing voices like this, by flooding the internet with the call to help the minorities, the Druze and the Christians and the Alawites and any other minority in Syria that are suffering. At least we might be able to expose the crimes of that regime and change something. That's something that we can help. That's in the hands of everyone watching this video. If you're watching this video, guys, do that right now, please. Go and find every Druze activist that you know amplify his voice, share his videos, comment on his videos. This is like, I feel sad saying these things, as I always hated hearing that before I became a YouTuber. I never thought I'll become a YouTuber in my life. That was never like something that I was I had never had YouTube until the age of 25 even. Like I didn't even know existed. And then I only started using it just to listen to Metallica and Nirvana. Later on, I started to find myself a YouTuber. But I'm telling you, it helps. It helps the algorithm. It helps show that the video have interest. And then it helps send that voice. And then social media, it's run by algorithm most of the time. These robots will come and say, oh, that's an interesting video. People are interested here. People watch it for a long time. Leave the videos open for a long time. That will help the algorithm. That will push this voice out, because there's 1 million Druze around the world and there's about 2 billion Muslims. The ratio is 2,000 to 1. I'm not saying all of them are against us, but in general, they will support their own voice. They will not support our voice. So we need the help of the world, even in the world of algorithm.
I have another suggestion. Like we could be a bit more, creative. Everyone that hears us now, no matter where are you, like our main goal is to break the siege out of Sueda, which is like the life vein of this whole region. So no matter where are you, go to find out your parliament representatives and send them emails. Let them talk about it in the parliaments. Let them put some pressure on the in the EU to break the siege, to bring international peacekeeping forces to Sueda. This is important. This is crucial, because as Lujain said earlier, the question of the next massacre, it's a matter of time. It's not a matter of if or not. So please, we have no time, because I can see it. It's gonna happen again, and now the Druze are much weaker than we started to begin with. So please.
She actually mentioned that she's anticipating another fight coming. Like, where are you getting this information from?
Well, first of all, there are still about 30 villages under their control.
30.
They're still recruiting armies in other places in Syria. And they're still threatening again that this time it's going to be the end for you. And also, people here are still anticipating, the people that are the fighters, the Druze fighters, they're still anticipating. So we're extremely scared of another attack. But the thing is, we might be, as Khalifa said, we might be weaker, but we're not gonna surrender. So we're gonna die. Either die or
let's call it what it is, guys. By the way, the Druze are the only group in Syria, aside from the Kurds, which already have almost their country. You can say they have a stronger army than the Syrian army. The Druze are the only group that did not bend the knee to Sharia. The Druze did not surrender, and the Druze won. And that's what's pissing off these guys. Because remember, the goal was to come and exterminate the Druze. The Druze fought back with the help of Israel, and they won. So they stood the ground. They did not bend the knee to Sharia, and that is pissing off these radicals, and they will definitely come and try to do round 3, 4, and 5. Just like with Israel. By the way, when they got defeated by the Jews, which they were boasting, saying, we're going to erase them from the river to the sea. They're so small, we're so big. All the Muslims' army came, and the Jews defeated them. That humiliation is what fueled later on the creation of Palestine, and fueled later on the whole other wars that came in Israel, because they couldn't bear the humiliation. I can tell you right now, the Muslims in Syria, the radicals, the Sunnah, the jihadists, are feeling the same humiliation, this Salafi maniacs. And they're saying, we're going to come and finish the job, because they came and they were proud and they were defeated by the Druze, who stood the ground, men and women. I've seen a picture today of an old Druze woman. Someone said she's over 100 years old. I don't know if that's true.
Yes, that's true. I don't know about her age, but she's very old. Yes, and she was holding a gun and fighting.
Wow.
Amazing. They're amazing people.
By the way, a lot of women were fighting. A lot of women, like hundreds of women, were fighting against them, and fighting like in military bases, not like fighting at home. Women are also now. Yeah, now we're all of us are trained to use the weapons lately, since the late attack like 2 months ago.
Did you
We've
think
been
as a doctor that one
training.
day you'll be trained to use a weapon?
Yeah, I've never thought about it in my life. I'm very peaceful. Like, I'm a very peaceful person. And it was very scary, you know, when I first held it, it was extremely scary. But then I had to do it. I had to train. I have to protect myself.
Another thing that you can do, in my opinion, go, if you are in Europe, go to the embassies of the Arab countries with the pictures saying that, you know, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, all those countries go by honor and respect. So tell them, put an image in front of their faces that the blood of the Jews is on their hands, especially Qatar, that's supporting those ISIS groups. And we should, like you, we could be very creative in doing a lot of mess, because we have no time. I can see it. We have no time. The next massacre is coming and we need your help. So please share, please comment, please do everything, that the usual stuff that we ask you. And then ask where is the assembly of the Druze people in your country, and go demonstrate in front of embassies, Arab embassies, US embassies, UN, every place. Just put it out there, because those civil rights organizations are not doing anything. We must take action. This is on our responsibility for humanitarian sake, because those people are innocent. They just need to break the siege out of them, and we must do it. Like we see, you know, Gaza, 900 trucks going in and out on a daily basis, and airplanes. So they can do it. They know how to do it. We just need to convince them, and they're not going to do it in a good will. We must push them to do it.
That's true. Robbie Mans said here, thank you for this, Robbie. He said, thank you for making this voice heard to the world. You are brave. You are brave, Dr. Lujain. I'm just killing your name.
Lujain.
It's a beautiful name.
Thank you,
Where does
Rabbi.
that name come from?
Well, it has two meanings. The first one is the liquid of silver, and it came basically from the main interpretation, which is, you know, when the moon sheds the light on a lake, and the lake, you know, does that, you know, the water. So this is design, and this is where it comes, the liquid of silver.
Wow.
Wow,
that's a
beautiful
beautiful
name.
Yeah, I
And,
love my name. Yeah.
we all love your name. So
Thank
you said that you are in Syria right now. You said that you are staying with your mom.
Yes.
Is your family safe? Are they?
Can I just have a second to get a power bank, because I'm running out of charge?
Yes, have a second, and I will keep answering here the questions. We're coming close to that. Yes, please, no problem. We have a comment here from Larry Hall. Thank you so much. We will not forget the Syrian Druze and Christians. Thank you, brother. I've seen you've been very active on this channel as well before. We appreciate anyone here that is showing some support and, you know, coming back. Cindy Hoover asked, please repeat how many women and children have been taken. I'll ask her when she comes back.
She said 200.
Yeah.
There are a lot of missing people. Like the scale of the massacre is still not fully known, because they're still discovering bodies. There are 35 villages that under the occupation of the ISIS groups, and there is no communication. So it's it's very hard to know the scale and how many people are missing, how many people died, how many people had been kidnapped. It's a whole mayhem over there. It's heartbreaking.
Crazy. Sandra sent here, Sandra Gibora. It's how ex-hostage Emily Damari lost her fingers. She was trying to protect her dog and they shot him. If you know the story of this beautiful, courageous Jewish woman that was kidnapped and was released, was in captivity for several hundred days, more than 500, I don't remember exact days. She lost her finger and she, they even sew it together kind of there. And her hand was shot when she was trying to cover her dog. She's, by the way, part of the LGBT community, and she said that she did her best all the time to hide that identity from her captors because she knew that she'll be executed the moment they hear that. Because for them, that's even worse than being a Jew in some cases, unless you're queer for Palestine. And then they like you because you're helping them, but if they had a chance, they'll kill you as well. So, but that was just another story of showing you how one side choose to protect life, even the life of animals, and the other side just want to kill life, anything, humans and animals and etc. And we're seeing that happening right now in the Druze villages. Thank you, Ainora. It's a reminder for everyone who want to help this channel. You can go and check my Patreon or Khalifa's Patreon. He just opened it not long ago. So anyone who knows people that want to help voices like our voices, we're very rare. There's not many, if at all, Druze channels like this one that are coming and bringing the voice, pure authentic Druze guys from the Middle East. So if you want to help us, I can tell you Khalifa is a humble man and he's not going to share it, but he is working as a farmer, a shepherd in his free time. He's raising his daughter and he's doing everything he can to run this channel, his YouTube channel and the Telegram channel that he's translating. He's working relentlessly out of his own free time while supporting his family. So any way that you can help us, and he lost his monetization for YouTube many months ago, many moons ago. Yeah. Because he was sharing the videos to show them what's happening and they took his monetization. So right now it's a very direct way. Go check his channel, check, he have Buy Me Coffee, I think, and he have the Patreon that he opens. I can tell you it's not easy. It's not easy. And we're doing our best with the little that we have to keep doing their voice, and we're going to keep doing it. But it helps us a lot if we can not worry, if we can finish the month and pay the rent and put food on the table for our children. So
yeah,
that's something
we're not doing it for the money. This is
not doing it for the money. Exactly. That's a problem. But it does help clear our mind so we don't need to worry about that, because in the end of the day, this is life. So if you want, go check his Patreon as well. You can check my Patreon. Someone here made a very good comment, here, this one. Leave a comment after the stream. If you have nothing to say, you can just leave a heart, but it does help the algorithm. This is so true, guys. This is so true. That's one of the ways. The way that YouTube works is this. That's from my understanding. I'm going to give you a quick crash course in YouTube while we wait for Lujain to come. You put a video out there. If people click on it, that's good. YouTube likes that. If people stay for 15 seconds, you think, oh, that's an interesting video. And then he starts sending it to more of your subscribers. And then if he sees that the people are still watching for more than 30 seconds, that's when you see in the algorithm kind of in the statistics, that's where the crash goes. Any video of more than 30 seconds is already showing some clear interest. Then YouTube says, that's an interesting video. What is the topic? The topic is talking about dog food. It's talking about shopping, electronics, IT, Middle Eastern stuff, politics, special forces. Doesn't matter which. He knows the niche already, and he knows all the other people that are watching. You're sitting at home and you're watching, so YouTube knows already what kind of algorithm, what kind of statistics of videos that you like to watch. You like to watch, thrillers. You like to watch shopping. You like to watch about real estate, and he will send the video based on that needs to people around the world and expose you more. So that's how you get more and more exposure for the video. So you can have the best video in the world, but it's going to be very hard to break that ceiling of your little circle unless people watch it long enough and comment and like and leave all these things. So just a quick crash to help you help us. Big one of it is watching. Another one helping is leaving comments and interacting with the video and sharing it. That is one way that directly help us keep this channel growing. Druze heading for safety. Israel protects Syria. So yes, Israel is the only one right now that is protecting the Druze, not really Syria, and the Christians and any other minority that is fleeing to the south, because the south of Syria have become the only relatively safe place in Syria, while the rest is becoming Afghanistan, because the army is not allowed to operate. The Syrian army is not allowed to operate south of Damascus, and that makes it somehow safer. Now, I know someone here said this. I was trying to ask if Lujain wants to be Israeli. I'll tell you something, brother.
Lujain.
I'll tell you something, brother. I would rather not ask her that question. I know the answer already. Many of us heard the answers, but you know what? They're still in Syria. And with the way that we see the Game of Thrones of planet Earth been played, one day the West is with you, promise you promises, we're going to take down, topple the Iranian evil, Islamic regime. The next day they all pull back because Qatar pays $100 billion and then I don't know what, they give him an airplane and suddenly they don't want to take down Iran anymore. And then you find yourself stuck in that situation, an even worse situation. So let's not put her in that spot where she needs to answer that. That's my advice. I'm sorry. I know you want to ask that, Enoch, and I don't respect your question. It's a very good question, but just kind of, I rather avoid putting them in that spot for that sake until we actually hear a clear statement from Israel, from America, from the West. Yes, we're going to take over the southern part of Syria and we're going to give it to the Druze. We're going to protect them. But as long as they are not yet protected from their own government, their own Muslim radical government, it's better that we don't push them to that spot because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
And the main, I just got a WhatsApp saying why you're not mentioning the American politicians. Well, the U.S. is a big story inside of that because she was actually trying to hold back from Israel to intervene in Syria. So everybody, please go to congressmen or politicians, or everybody that you have any connection, just flood them with emails trying to convince them to think otherwise of what's happening in south of Syria and try to find some solution to the Druze community over there and open a corridor to Israel. That will be great. We would love to have the Druze community as workers and I don't know, to open schools with them and get food and give them an exit to the Mediterranean and to the open, like to the world basically.
Yeah. Someone asked, does it help putting the video on an own channel? I'm not so sure what that means, but I can tell you. Oh, she's back. She's back.
Hi, I'm back.
The silver moon over the water from Syria.
Yeah, but you need to flip your phone.
We can all just do the courtesy and have it talk like this,
Yeah,
we're gonna try to make it like that.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is perfect.
Yeah, so bear in mind she has 3 kilometers away from her house, so we need to wrap it as much as fast as we can. We don't want to take too much of your time, and we will happily have you next time. We would love to hear more about what's happening in Sueda from you. Your English is perfect, and it's such a pleasure having you with us.
Thank you, Khalifa. Thank you.
So do you want to share maybe anything for the closing of the episode today, something that you feel that you want to tell the world? Our platform is yours.
Thank you. I think I've said everything. Just don't leave us alone because, well, if there's only one Druze left, this one Druze, even if it's a baby, he's gonna fight. We're gonna fight till the end. If we're asking for help and if we're asking for aids and if we're asking for intervention, it's because our right as humans to be protected from these monsters. It's a shame for humanity to have these monsters living and roaming around freely and no one can stop them. It's a shame on humanity. If we're asking for help, it's not because we can't fight. We can fight till the end. And the second thing, we really need intervention. We don't want any postponing or any thinking. And at the day of the bomb shelling, there were some meetings going on and taking place everywhere. Like, what should we do? Come on, they're killing us. What should we do now? Like, what should we do? People are slaughtered, and now you're doing meetings and thinking, what should we do? If you want to do something, do it now. If you want to do any intervention, just come now. Don't wait until another 1,000 martyrs get killed. And now the primitive number, the primary number of people. I heard you, like I think someone asked, maybe Khalifa, or we've lost until now, like the primary number, 1,300 martyrs. Some people say it's 3,000, and we can't know because there are 30 villages. More than 30 villages are under their control, and the people are dead in their houses, and we don't know how many people are dead. We've lost connection with a lot of people, and we don't know how many people are dead, and we haven't discovered them yet. So it might be much more than this number.
Someone asked, please repeat how many women and children have been taken, as far as you know.
More than 200.
To give you guys some kind of a picture, when Israel had 1,200 people killed and about 250 hostages taken, that's out of 7 million Israelis, out of 15 million Jews worldwide. So the Druze, there's only 1 million, give or take, and there's about 600,000 to 700,000 of them living in Syria, probably less by now. So that gives you some kind of understanding of the ratio, of the magnitude of the October 7th that the Druze have went through. And again, I don't like to compare. I'm not comparing. Both were tragic, very tragic events, but the Druze are just even a smaller community, and the Druze don't have the IDF. They don't have Israel. They don't have the Mossad. They don't have the Shabak. They don't have the economy of Tel Aviv. They don't have the startup nation. They're being oppressed. The only place, I can say safely as a Druze, that the Druze are not being oppressed is in Israel. All other places are living on oppression, or, every day fearing of a tragic event were happening, so they need to hide their identity. So that gives you an understanding how much we need right now the international community help. So please.
A lot of people all around the world have been protesting, Druze people and Christians joining them in the protest, and even some Muslims joined them in their protest all over Europe. What they got is threatening them and people attacking them in the streets and calling for jihad against Druze that live in Europe.
Yeah.
My friends in the Arab Emirates, they were trying to post things like, these hashtags, help Sueda, Sueda suffocating, Sueda, free Sueda. So they're now trying to fire people who are Druze from the Gulf. And my friend herself was threatened that if you're not going to stop, we're going to fire you. And we're gonna let you leave the country.
Wow. So see what's happening? Like, we can't even protest and demonstrate around the world because we need to fear. And she's very right. I live in Germany. There were Druze who went to demonstrate in Berlin, and they were attacked by pro-Palestinians and Turkish people that came to, and Syrians, Muslim Syrians that came to beat them up, came with scissors, even to threaten them that they will finish the job. The scissor became the symbol of, cutting their mustache. Yeah. In Europe, in Germany, where they said never again. They're allowing Nazis again. This time is Muslim Nazis, I call them. It's radical Muslims who are
Islamo-Nazis.
Islamo-Nazis. You have Muslims, you have Islamo-Nazis. And that are, Muslim Brotherhood. They're not the peaceful one. They don't want to make a better world, and they're rocking it. And it's crazy. Great. I just want to make thank you so much for Yanai. Who doesn't know Yanai, I've met him in real life. I went to visit him in his house in Israel with his family. Beautiful farmland, very hidden location. And he started becoming very active on social media lately. I'm seeing him doing a lot of very active as a voice for the Druze, by the way. He's a Jewish man.
Wow.
Unbelievable. He's probably sharing more about the Druze than me and Khalifa, and we're sharing everything we can. Like, he is literally out there putting videos. So thank you so much, brother. We
God
love
bless
you.
him.
We love
His
so
soul.
many. God bless
Thank
you.
you,
And people
Yanai.
like you
Thank
as
you.
well. Thank you, Anna. Yes. And go follow him, guys. If someone can put his handle down here, you know, have an Instagram and a YouTube, and help him grow. He's a growing channel. He's just coming up. And yes, we need to help these people to reach out because we're just so little. So please go and show him some support. I think we're coming to an end, guys. We just want to say again, thank you, and have a safe walk back home.
Thank
And
you.
send our warmest regard to your mother and to your family. And we will pray that this video and many others like this can help change the world, you know, view about Syria, and maybe bring some intervention that can help you guys stay safe and survive. And we've asked you, you have to survive. We one day hope to meet you in Europe or anywhere around the world where you can freely go and travel and
In
get
free
out of,
Sueda. No. We're gonna meet her in free Sueda. Heroes like
inshallah.
her are
Yes.
gonna free Sueda. You
Inshallah.
are our hope. You
Let's
are
make a
our
V, all of us
hero.
together. Let's make a V, all of us together, and you know, someone can screen record this. 3 Druze. Wait, she
Yeah,
froze.
free
No!
Sueda,
Yes!
baby, free Sueda. Long
Please,
live
Sueda.
Sueda, long live the
Druze
Thank
Druze.
you.
power. Druze
Druze
power
life
all the way,
matter.
breaking boundaries, breaking borders. We love all of our Druze
Amen.
brothers all around the
Hopefully,
world. In
hopefully, yes.
Syria, in Lebanon, in Venezuela, in America, in Israel, everywhere. Thank you so much. We're gonna close the show right now. Khalifa, you want to give us some kind of bombastic ending of the episode?
Well, Hebrews and Shebrews, everybody who's been with us, thank you so much. We had the one, the only, the first for her name, the unique, the no other human being like a hero that you never seen before, Lujain Hamza.
Thank you.
And this was
Thank you.
Khalifa Shrag and Mansour Ashkar. Thank you, everybody, wherever you were, and God bless your soul.